I saw the Marvels. Yeah, let's just get into this. Run the intro. All right, so I saw the Marvels, and as usual, I'm gonna do my top 10 takeaways from the Marvels. Warning, spoiler alert. There are gonna be a lot of spoilers in this. Although honestly, I'm just saving you money because you could already tell this thing gonna be very good, and then I will give my rating at the end. Let's jump into this with number 1. Cheap GI. Not CGI, cheap GI. What the hell is this? I mean, you would think, okay, when they did the first trailer for it, I did a video on that trailer and I talked about how the CGI looks cheap as hell, but oh god, it for somehow it looked worse in the movie. It really and truly looked worse. Yes, we have these space scenes that did not look like space and all that, but when you get up close with certain things, it just looks unbelievably cheap. Even Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and her glowing flying powers look so freaking cheap. I mean, what they could have done maybe to, had her keep the little helmet thing that she had, that actually kind of, gave some credence to it. She had do that has like some glowing eyes or something. That could have done something. But no, the whole thing with it, they're out in the open and stuff, it just looks terrible. Really, really terrible. And there's some very, very cheap CGI. When people falling from the sky, it looks cheap as hell. The flying looks terrible. The so-called CGI and certain stuff look it look like a bad ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because it's like they just couldn't at all fix the damn thing at all. It just wasn't good at all. Number 2, no pacing. It is easy, very, very easy to tell in this movie that they just chopped out major parts of it. Major part of it was chopped out. We knew that the information coming out that said that they had taken out a lot of parts, and when it was boiled out of like 80 something minutes or something. So, but you could tell that they cut out large portions of this movie, because there is absolutely no pacing in this. It jumps from one scene to the next, 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 with no moment to breathe. Nothing. Literally nothing. I mean, I'll give you an example of what happens. When they touch the thing and they start switching places, it's like, okay, 1 minute Kamala Khan is in space, bam, she's back on Earth. Then you see Captain Marvel fighting somebody, bam, then the Kree end up in her house, bam, then she's back on space station, bam, then Nick Fury and Monica Rambo are getting attacked, bam, then they show up at Miss Marvel's house, bam, then the Kree show up there, then they start fighting again, then they're back on another planet, and they're running from this, and they have to go back here, and it does not stop. There's no pacing. Everything is just rushed, and it is nothing to even say, okay, this scene is moving into this scene. It just happens. There's this one part in the movie where Monica Rambo and Miss Marvel end up on this planet that the Kree are on. And the big bad lady is there. They end up on the planet that the Kree are on, right? And then, like literally 2 minutes later, Miss Marvel just flies in. But she was just on Earth. Even if she used one of the jump gates or something to get there, it would literally take, time to get there. But no, she just shows up there. There's no explanation for how she got from Earth to there that record amount of time, because we've seen that she cannot fly that fast. But somehow she just shows up there because there's no pacing. It just jumps from one scene to the next without giving it any room to breathe at all. No pacing. I mean, normally I talk about if a movie drags on too long in certain scenes or something like that, or sometimes the pacing is really good. There is no pacing here at all. There is no drag, there's no nothing. Everything just jumps from one thing because you could tell that they literally shredded this movie and just pieced together some parts of it and then put it out there. Which leads me into number 3. This so-called story makes no sense. For like the first 15 minutes of this movie, you have no idea what the goddamn story is. None. Because it starts off with the so-called big bad lady, who's whatever she's named, Darben. I'll get to her in a little while. She goes and retrieves one of these bangle things that Miss Marvel had. Apparently there's 2, and she finds one on some ancient planet, whereas Miss Marvel got hers in the mail. Okay, we get that. And then next thing you know, I mean, you never really get a good understanding of what her plan is, because apparently some civil, when it is Carol Danvers destroyed the Kree Supreme Intelligence, it caused some kind of some kind of civil war on the Kree home planet. How did that happen? We don't know. There's no explanation for it, whatever. That's apparently because she destroyed that, everybody just decided to revolt against everybody. I mean, couldn't you just rebuild the damn thing or something, or rebuild another one? But whatever happened, that apparently now the planet is desolate, and she's apparently going around to different planets and using the bangle to open up jump gates to steal the resources of this planet. And it doesn't make any kind of sense. How are you doing this? Because if you open up these things to steal resources, you don't know how you know there's barely any air on the Kree home planet to breathe. How did you steal air from one planet and put it on another one? Wouldn't stealing air suck up all the people too, so that if you open this jump, they would on the Kree home, they would literally see people falling from the sky and dying? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Then she even goes to steal the water to bring it to her planet. You don't know what's in that water. There could be God alone knows what's in there. And then of course, an even more dotage ass plan. She wanted to steal the sun. I guess the energy from the sun that's on that Earth orbits, in order to bring sunlight to her world. I don't know. But then in the very end of it, you find out her entire plan doesn't matter, doesn't make any sense at all, because apparently Ms. Marvel could just reignite the Kree's dead son. How did the Kree son die when they were having a civil war on their planet? We don't know, because they never explain anything. And like I said, the story makes no sense. So Ms. Marvel could reignite the Kree son, because apparently that's a power she has, and we don't know how, because they never really explained. They said that she could generate that kind of power from where, I don't know, but that's what she could do to jumpstart the sun, apparently, because she's the bestest ever, right? And even when they have the big fight at the end and all kind of thing, and it's just, you're like, okay, this is not really tough. She ends up getting Ms. Marvel's other bangle and puts it on, and they're telling her if she uses both, it'll kill her. And she's, oh, I'll have to listen to you. I'm going to do it anyway. And she goes out, activates both, and immediately gets disintegrated. So she accomplished nothing, did nothing. Her plan was ridiculous. Nothing of interest was done. You literally had no point in anything you were doing, but somehow you were trying to play this woman off as the next Thanos. Jesus, it made literally no sense. Honestly, none. Number 4, the blandest villain ever. That's this Darben person. The actress playing her walks around with this look on her face like she's constantly smelling shit. But considering this movie, maybe she was. But, there is no motivation for this woman, because they explain nothing about her. All we actually got to find out about in the movie is that apparently when Carol Danvers destroyed the Kree Supreme Intelligence, she was in the building or something, and she was trying to, people were running and she was trying to help them, and then all of a sudden she just becomes the leader of the Kree, and she's on this mission to go and steal resources. You're like, who is this woman? What is her connection to anything? Why is she doing this? What does she want? There is literally nothing that tells you anything about. I mean, it could have been like, maybe she was a senator or something, and she tried to warn people about Carol Danvers, and then when the Civil War started, she tried to broker peace, but had factions who didn't want to listen, and Carol Danvers didn't help, and she has been trying to help her people. I know that time she has to do this, something to make her seem like, some kind of individual person, but there's nothing. She's just, okay, I'm a woman and I'm doing this, so because I'm bad, you're supposed to like me for it. There is literally nothing. This woman in no way, shape, or form does anything to make you even in the least bit interested in her at all. Really, there's nothing to make you interested in her. And then let's not even talk about her, because she got this bangle that she found, which apparently is a twin bangle, because the one that Ms. Marvel has is the same one, and there's some kind of thing called quantum bands, and they can be used to open up these kind of jump gates, which are like basically kind of like little mini wormholes that connect to different points in space. Okay, she could do that, and apparently the bangle could also absorb energy and redirect along that thing. But then you have to ask yourself, why does Miss Marvel never do that? Why can't she do that? Because apparently Chuck Bangle doesn't do it, because you never see her do it at all. But this one can. And if they're the same, why is it working for her and not for Miss Marvel? You don't know. Nothing is ever explained. We're just supposed to take that, this woman is doing this for some kind of reason that, like I said, in the end makes no sense, because she accomplishes nothing, and she didn't even have to do it at all, and they just keep messing it up, because she goes to this one planet where the Skrulls have a little refugee base or nothing there, and she ends up destroying the planet and stuff, but again, the fact that the Skrulls are there and they have they have found this home on this planet kind of takes the whole secret invasion thing that Disney Plus pushed and just kick it in the balls, because then you realize it had no reason to be trying to take over Earth, and you could have gone there. So I don't know, it's just the woman is just very bland and uninterested. Number 5, Captain Marvel is the wine ant that no one wants. That's basically the best description of Captain Marvel in this movie. She's literally the wine ant that nobody wants. I mean, let me just explain it. She's basically that one aunt that people have, who lives alone, doesn't need a man, keeps her place kind of messy, has a cat, might drink a little bit, and is just, a kind of a bummer letdown every time you're around her. That's Captain Marvel in this movie. Honestly, don't get me wrong, they try to push she's so amazing and she's so this, and you have Kamala Khan gushing all over her, or stuff, all some of the other, they still try to play this thing about, she still doesn't have all her memories from when she was, from when the Kree took it from her. But at this point, you don't even care. It's been like, over 30 years? I mean, since the Kree did that, you could figure out something, and then they try this thing with her and Monica Rambo, and try to play some kind of little tension stuff there. But again, there is none, because everything is just resolved instantly. Because like I said, there's no pacing whatsoever. It's like, okay, at minute 1, Monica is a little upset with her because she didn't come back. At minute 2, they're good, they're hugging up. That's it. There's no depth in this movie whatsoever. And then again, Brie Larson is walking around with this look on her face like she doesn't even want to be there. Honestly, she looked like she had no interest in being in that movie whatsoever. Yes. Let's move on to number 6. Monica Rambeau, the Unknown Soldier. If you had not watched the WandaVision series, or matter of fact, even if you did watch it, And then again, if you never, if you're a complete normie who's never read Marvel, Marvel comics from the past, then you have no idea who Monica Rambo is, and this movie does nothing to change that. Literally nothing to change that. They speak of the movie, well, Miss Marvel does, trying to give her some kind of code name that she does know what about with names like Professor Marvel and all kind of thing. And they even use the word the Marvels like about 3 times in the movie because they have to do that. But Monica Rambeau is very uninteresting as a character. Very, very uninteresting. And the problem with it is that Tiona Paris is not a bad, she's not bad, she's not terrible in the role. But the problem is that the character is just so bland that there's nothing about it to be interested in. I mean, yes, she's a kind of science because she spent all the movie just rambling on about all kind of scientific facts and all sort of stuff and all kind of thing and trying to be the one to explain everything because the way this whole thing breaks down is that Captain Marvel is the wine aunt that nobody wants. Monica Rambeau is the nerdy aunt that you might listen to once in a while, and then we have Ms. Marvel, who's the overactive, hyperactive one who's happy to be here every moment of every day. But that's apparently it. There's nothing else about Monica Rambeau that you could sit and say, well, okay, she seems interesting as a character, something like that. No, it's just not there. Like, at all. There's just nothing about it. I mean, she tries to she tries to give some explanation of certain things, but doesn't actually do it. Like, when they're switching places, she said that, apparently their powers, every time they use their powers, they switch places because they have light-based powers. That's not how it works. She even tells them, how did she get her powers? She walked through some kind of energy barrier that a witch created, and that's how she got her powers. And then, what does she say her powers are? She could see light. Like, yes, so could 7 billion other people. But that's not all she could do. She could also, like, make herself intangible to phase through things. And apparently she could, like, kind of absorb light-based energy and throw it and direct it back. But there's no explanation as to how she does this at all. And then, the really stupid part, when the anomaly that's happening from the jump gate, she goes out there and decides to get readings by touching it. And at the very same time that she's touching it, Captain Marvel touches the same thing. And when Nick Fury asked Captain Marvel, why did she touch it? Because it was glowing and mysterious. Because once again, as a woman, they can do nothing wrong. That's it. It's just, I don't know, I tell you, if you went into this movie having no idea who Monica Rambeau is, this movie did nothing to really help you in that perspective at all. Nothing. So, we move on now to number 7. Ms. Marvel, the chosen annoying one. Let me just start off by saying, Imam Vellani is not a terrible actress. Okay? She's not terrible at all. But she got annoying in this movie really fast. And it's kind of like what they do with every other so-called female character that they introduce, who are literally all the same. But, she's a little different. I will admit she's a little different because she isn't some brainiac. She's just overly hyperactive and, hero-worshipping Captain Marvel. But apart from that, there were certain points in the movie where she wasn't, like, completely terrible. Like, when they had to do the dancing and she was doing a little dancing, she wasn't terrible. And, I heard one or two people kind of chuckle, like, oh, and by the way, there were, like, 9 people in the cinema, including me. I counted. That should tell you. But, yeah, she wasn't terrible. It's just that, it started to get really annoying. The so-called hero worship crap, like after 2 minutes, you were like, oh my God, tone it down a little bit now. But she was just really, really annoying. But again, like I said, but she honestly did seem like the only person in this movie that was actually kind of happy to be there. You could tell, Tiona Paris was kind of happy at certain points. That she was a little happy at certain points to me. There, you could see some kind of emotion. You couldn't see anything at all when it came to Brie Larson. She looked like she was just dead on the inside. But that was it. And speaking of Brie Larson, somebody really needed to give that woman a sandwich, boy. God, she was mega. I'm telling you, she was in like a skin-tight suit, and it was still hanging on shit. Jeez, father, she needed a sandwich badly, but... Number 8, some Disney princess shit. No, seriously, I'm telling you. There was this point in the movie where Carol Danvers has to go to this, all three of them have to go to this water planet. And apparently she is married to the prince there. But of course, it's a marriage of convenience, and they only show up once in a while and a friend, because God forbid, you understand me, she be in a relationship with any man that she actually loves. No, that can't happen. You understand me? This is Marvel. You understand me? All men have to be cocks. That's what they want. But they get to the planet, and everybody on the planet sings. That's their language, and they're singing and dancing and all of this nonsense. And then when she goes and meets the prince, when Captain Marvel goes and meets the prince, there's actually some kind of sprinkling of fairy dust kind of thing, and she gets her dress and they start to do a dance and sing, and I'm sitting there like, wait. Is this a Marvel movie, or is this some kind of rip-off of Beauty and the Beast? I'm telling you, they literally sprinkling fairy dust and all kind of thing, and then after they finish dancing, they going back now, more sprinkly fairy dust, and she changes back. It was like, what is this Disney princess shit doing in this movie? I mean, yes, literally like 2 minutes later, the entire planet got destroyed because, crazy woman again, but, you need any Disney princess shit? Number 9, can't forget the cats. Can't forget the cats. Okay, so, the cat things that aren't cat things? The one that scratched Nick Fury's eye because they had to make him as horrible as possible. And I'm telling you, I mean to say, Nick Fury is just done. You understand me? Done. Secret Invasion finished him off, and this movie just left him like he's not even, you don't even care anymore. But okay, the cat things that tentacles come out of their mouths and they eat people, swallow them, all kind of thing. So apparently the one that Miss Marvel has, because she's a wine aunt and all wine aunts need cats. I'm more of a dog person myself, but okay, whatever. Right. It apparently laid a bunch of weird-looking eggs that when they hatch a little baby cat things, and when the space station that they're on starts to lose power and destabilize again, because we don't know exactly what's happening, because this woman, whenever she opens one of these jump gates, it's somehow defective or something and causing some kind of problem. So we don't know how this is happening because, they never explain anything like that. A bunch of these systems on the Sword space station, well, actually it's Saber, because that's what they call the space station, starts to destabilize, and they need to get everybody off. And, of course, Ms. Marvel's parents are there because apparently, they needed Indian people in this because, they already have a diverse cast of women in the leading roles. One's black, one's white, one's Indian, and of course the prince was Chinese, and that have as much diversity as possible. But okay, they're on there, and there are only a few of these escape pods remaining. So they come up with this brilliant idea that the cat things are going to eat people, and when they get back down on Earth, it'll spit them up. And there's this one scene where they're running down, chasing people so the cat things can eat them, and the people are terrified and running for their life because they don't want to meet it, and they're running them down, trapping them to get eaten. And there's this this voice on the this emergency voices. I'm saying, please let the cats eat you. It's okay. You will be. I'm like, why would anybody want that? Why don't you get eaten? It's really stupid. It's really, really stupid. But that's kind of the point of this movie. Finally, number 10. The base cameo won't stop this from bombing. Okay, before I even get to Beast, it's clear that they have learned, Marvel and the MCU have learned nothing, absolutely nothing from these continued failures. Because at the end of the movie, there's a little thing where Kamala Khan goes to recruit Kate Bishop. She tries to act like Nick Fury, but it comes off very, very pathetically. And she goes to the recruit Kate Bishop because she wants to start a team. She tells her how she's putting together a team and stuff. And she even mentions Ant-Man's daughter because, the MCU needs to happen as soon as possible. Why you keep doing this? You're losing money because people are sick and tired of this garbage, but you won't stop. Okay, there's that. And then now we have the actual ending of this movie where apparently, and no explanation given for this at all, when Crazy Woman uses both bangles and she opens some unstable space rift or something, it apparently tears a hole into another universe. That's not how wormholes work. That's not how these things are supposed to work. Because the way you explained it actually doesn't make what happened possible. Because these things open a gateway between two fixed points in space. They can't open a hole into another dimension. That's not how it works. Even if it does, you would need a massive amount of energy, which you don't have. But okay, she gets both of them and she does that. And then of course, and here's the weird thing about it. When she gets both of these bangles and stuff, Ms. Marvel could still use her powers. She could still make these giant energy constructs. So that why are you even wearing the damn thing in the first place? Because clearly you don't need it, but whatever. So it causes this opening in space, right? And Monica Rambo says that the only way to close it is if Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel shoot a bunch of their energy into her, and then she goes into the rift and closes it. How in God's name does she accomplish this? She never mentioned having the ability to absorb this kind of energy. Wouldn't that much energy kill you? But no, she apparently does it. She goes in there, starts closing the rift, and when she does that closes it, and she ends up in another universe. She then wakes up inside a medical bay and meets her mother. And during the movie, we didn't get the final that apparently her mother had cancer, and the mother died when she blipped. Because when Thanos snapped and erased half the universe, she was erased along with it. And during that time, her mother wasn't erased. The mother died of cancer while she wasn't there. Now, Carol Danvers did come back and meet with the mother. That happened, but that's what happened. And then when she did come back now, 5 years had passed and her mother was already gone. So we got that. So when she wakes up in this medical bay and sees a version of her mother in a parallel universe, she's all, Mom, I'm so happy to see you. I'd cry and all this the other. And then Beast comes in. And when Beast, Kelsey Grammer, Beast come in, I feel people in the cinema actually go, oh, wait, boy, Beast, wait. And then like second, they were like, that was it. I mean, to me, in the CGI look a little wonky with Beast, but you're literally 5 to 10 years too late with this. This would have, having an X-Men cameo would have been the ideal thing to do at the end of Endgame, so you could set up a whole new thing now involving the X-Men. But to do this Hail Mary now at the end of the Marvels, if nobody cares about that, just terrible, doesn't do anything. I'm telling you, The only Marvel movie that was worse than this, in my opinion, is Thor: Love and Thunder, and the only reason that is lower on my list is because everything in that movie was a running joke. But we didn't get Valkyrie in this movie. She did show up to take the Skrulls back to new wherever the hell they are, because apparently she could just show up like that whenever she wants, but that's what they're doing. The movie was not good. It made no sense. There was no plot, there was no pacing, there was no common sense, nothing. Literally nothing. There was literally this part when they were actually where Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and Monica Rambo were literally doing skip rope to figure out how their powers work. I mean, I guess they were trying to play some kind of female bonding thing. And okay, the skip rope wasn't bad, but the fact that there's no build-up or no pacing to anything, this kind of makes it weird. Seriously, this movie was just terrible. You have to wonder who in God's name greenlit this shit. Like, what the hell were you all thinking? Yeah, boy. Okay, my final rating for the Marvels, I will give this movie a 1.3 out of 5. Don't waste your time. There's nothing you really need to see in this movie at all. It makes no sense. It goes nowhere. It does nothing. That's it. There's no wonder this is bombing, because this is not a movie for anybody. This is a movie that they made because they figured, you know what? We could do no wrong. We're the MCU. Well, you see how that's working out for them. But, we have something else to look forward to coming up next. We have Aquaman 2. Oh, God, what happened to my life?